Mama was already on the blanket, and she hadn't been joking. She was actually drinking a bottle of beer. Lorenz felt this was completely out of the norm for the women he'd seen and heard of during his brief sojourns around white people. MacDonald handed his cups to Mama, while they seated themselves on the blanket. Lorenz sat cross-legged, but MacDonald swept Minna up into her lap, and the two shared his cup, amid much blowing and laughter. The other cup sat safely on the ground while it cooled.
"Papa, tell me a story,"
coaxed Minna. Lorenz heard the laughter rumble in MacDonald's voice. "Are you sure you want the same story again? Mayhap a new one." Minna shook her head.
"No, I want Minna's story. Lorenz will like it too."
"Mayhap ye are right. Lorenz has nae heard this story." Since Lorenz was sitting slightly behind the big man, he could not see the smile of satisfaction on MacDonald's face. MacDonald shifted his weight and used one hand to point upward. "Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a princess and a prince on a fine, fair planet that circles a far star. The princess was beautiful with her snow-white hair and a magnificent build. The prince and princess fell deeply in love and planned to wed. Suddenly their planet was attacked by beings from two far different stars. One race was tall and all had red hair, strange brown eyes with golden circles around the dark middle, and nae like the other beings. They had 2 hearts. But they lived for long, long year spans, and could control the thoughts of others with their mind. They believed they were superior to all other beings. They called themselves the Justines, for they felt they ruled by a great system of justice." Sarcasm had crept into MacDonald's speech. Lorenz thought of his extremely tall sister Reedy, her copper eyes with the golden circles around the dark pupils, her flaming red hair, and a strange disquiet began to build within. There was no way he was going to believe MacDonald's tale, but he, like Minna, was caught up in the telling, and he sat silent, trying to feature what MacDonald described. But there was nothing in his life that could evoke the images for the words his ears were hearing. The other beings attacking them were shorter and squat, with brown eyes and brownish skin, and scales on their cheeks. They were called Creppies. They fawned over the tall, slender Justines as the master race, and did their bidding. They spoke in a high, clipped way through their fangs, and were quite mean-spirited. The prince and princess were mighty warriors in their land, and they fought the other beings on the land with weapons, and in the sky with their flying ships. But there were too many enemies raging against them. One by one the strongholds of the prince and princess were each destroyed, and soon the prince was in danger of being captured. Ere he let that happen, he took his vessel and destroyed the vessels of the Creppies, and fled the land of his birth. After travelling for many turns, he found a beautiful blue land and settled there. In his heart he yearned for his princess, and he 'twas very sad. MacDonald rolled the R to emphasize the seriousness of the situation. The battle over the lands where the princess lived waged more fiercely. The princess saw that they would soon be bested. She stole a large vessel from the Justines and flew her smaller craft inside. Then she drove the large vessel into the homeland of the Justines. The impact destroyed their lands, but there were still Justines in her land with their large flying vessels. The Justines found the vapor trail of the smaller vessel and searched for her, but she vanished in the vastness of the heavens. One day, when the prince 'twas riding over the new land, he looked up. There in the sky 'twas a craft heading for the earth. He rushed to where it would land, and saw the door open. Who do ye think he saw? Can ye name her?
"Princess Anna,"
squealed Minna, clapping her hands.
"It's Princess Anna."
Aye, and they were together again. They hugged each other, and they both lived happily ever after. Minna gave a sigh and hugged her father. Anna set her bottle aside and asked, "Would you like to hear about Hansel and Gretel, man?"